Thank you. Thanks. Okay, if you are not going to take a break, I need water. Yeah, sorry about that interruption. Let us continue. Yeah, I was talking about language skills. That's where we got stuck. Hello. Thank you. So we were talking about language skill, and I was saying what they have not mentioned here is that you should mention if you have specific language skill, especially if it is required or if you think it will give you an added advantage. Right. Okay, let's try it again. Can you read, please? Now I've forgotten names again. Yes, Dairaj.
Not if your CV is to be sent to an individual employer which has requested application in this format, you should research the organization and the position carefully. Even if you are using the same CV for a number of employers, you should personalize the covering letter. Example, by putting in a paragraph of why you want to work for that organization. When you're emailing your CV, putting a covering letter as the body of your email, it is wise to format it as plain text as that it can be read by any email.
Thank you. So if your CV is to be sent to an individual employer which has requested applications in a particular format, you should research the organization and the position carefully. Anyway, you have to research the organization and the position carefully. You can't write one CV for every organization, like I said earlier anyway. Even if you are using the same CV, you should personalize the covering letter. You shouldn't be using the same CV and you shouldn't be using the same covering letter. Those days when we wrote, date of birth, NIC number, marital status, religion, ethnicity, we also had an equally outdated format for the covering letter. With regard to the position in the daily news, with reference to your advertisement in the daily news dated this and this and this, I wish to submit my the following CV for your consideration. Remember, that was the standard line. Now we don't do that. For one thing, people don't write job applications in response to newspaper advertisements anymore. You write in response to online job advertisements, in response to personal contacts. These are the things that places you go to get jobs now. Okay. Sunday Observer still has a fair section on jobs, but online job searching is equally popular, if not more popular. Okay, personal contacts is even more popular. So you have to personalize your covering letter. That means you have to say that you have to write a special unique covering letter for every job that you apply for. Then when emailing your CV, put your covering letter as the body of your email. Don't put your covering letter as an attachment. Okay, your covering letter becomes your email and your attachment is your CV. It's wise to format it as plain text as that can be read by any email reader, so that you don't do it in fancy font or RTF or something like that. Right, before you send off your CV, ask yourself, can you read please?
Does it identify contains the experience or qualities and achievement? Is it clear and easy to read? The word
Concise.
concise, the word unnecessary delay and under two pages. Complete. Our education achievement, work experience, voluntary work, languages, IT skill, interest and preference. Consider font and format.
Consistent.
Consistent fonts and format. Current, most up to date. Is it what an employer wants? Can they see in 20 seconds and be
Persuaded.
persuaded to find out more?
Okay, so does it identify your key skills, experience, qualities, achievements? Is it written to suit that particular job? It's not mentioned, but that's important. Okay, then in terms of language and presentation, is it clear? That is easy to read. Is it concise? That means is it short, compact? And is it under 2 pages? It's a resume, not an autobiography. If you look at this man, he's saying it all started when I was born. You don't want to start there. You really don't. Okay. Is it complete? Does it cover not only education but also other achievements, other skills, experience? See, voluntary work, languages, these are the things I talked about. IT skills, okay. People like to say that they are good at MS Word. That is completely, to me, redundant. To say you know Word nowadays is like you saying you know how to hold a pen. Okay, your IT skills, if you're writing about your IT skills, it must be more specialized or more technical than being able to use Word and Excel. I'm sure you have seen CVs, or we have written CVs where we used to say, I am competent in Word and Excel. Word and Excel means like you know how to use a calculator and you know how to use a dictionary. These are things we take for granted now. Okay, don't bother. If you know, I don't know, very complicated other new software for this and that, put it. Yeah, consistent in fonts and format. That is very important. People think that changing fonts and changing font sizes is impressive somehow. It is not. Something like Times New Roman or any other sans serif is good enough. Okay. It has to be most up to date. Like I said earlier, keep it up to date. Is it what this employer wants? Can they see it in 20 seconds and be persuaded to find out more? It must make them interested and curious enough to find out who you are. That means they must want to read the CV and call you for an interview. That is important. Okay? Right. Any questions on any part of this? Think about CVs that you have written for various jobs. Think about how you have written your CV, whether it is different from this. To summarize, most recent to oldest, highest qualification to lowest. You can put your experience in from reverse chronological or in a skills based manner. Avoid unnecessary personal details. Get your referee's permission before you put their names, things like that. Right, anything else, anyone? Okay, no questions here. Okay, just to cover that, just this is just very frivolously. These are CVs that have not really been written, but the CVs of people, just CVs which have been made for teaching purposes, are not real CVs. So you can see a CV, curriculum vitae, that's fine. Name Jonesy, that's a pet name, okay? The name must be Jones. And then telephone number, date of birth, and then straight into hobbies. Football, golf, guitar, that won't work. Work experience, okay? You can see spelling mistakes, work experience, IE, deliver newspapers, DELLI, okay? It has to be DELI, and then education, a little bit there you can see secondary school, and then a lot of images. I mean, this is just a joke, but basically you can't have images in your CV, that won't work, as I'm sure you know. Then example of a chronological CV and a few things that I want to point out here. Okay, name, you can see name, address, telephone number, mobile, that's okay. Now this is a profile. This is what I was talking to you about. If you include a profile, make sure it's concise, meaning brief, and related to the specific skills and experience required. Multilingual business student with international financial experience and ability to develop business relationships, seeking a financial consulting career in life insurance and pensions. Okay, so who am I? What am I looking for? Like I said earlier, you can say multilingual business student, or you can say I am a multilingual business student. It's okay. Seeking a this and this and this. Okay. So here you have the whole chronological order example. Education and qualifications 2008 to present. Buckinghamshire Edge University, all that. Relate your degree to the job by listing your relevant modules, dissertation, and outline the related skills you've gained. So this is the degree, and there is a work placement. There is a 12,000 word dissertation analyzing UK pension market. Okay, so because looks like you're looking for a job in life insurance and pensions. So your thesis is directly relevant, so you're going to say that. Then your other skills, mathematical technical degree, giving me excellent numerical skills, demonstrated ability to gather pension data from a wide range of sources. Then 2007 and backward, 2000 to 2007. Okay, A level, GCSE, like I told you, if you have postgraduate, drop all these things. Then finance related work experience. If you have work relevant experience, it can be useful to group it all together. So here you're looking at the work experience that you have that is related to this particular job, financial consulting. So all the finance related work experience has been brought together, the finance skill that you bring to the role. So 6 months work experience in an international bank, whether it's local or international matters. If you work for a local company or an international company, if it's an international company, say that. If it is a multinational company, say that. Okay, these things matter. Reviewing company financial systems, testing, all that. Remember, active, strong verbs. Again, what you did, your strengths, developed excellent data, built long-standing business relationships, all that. Then 2008, January to August, again it has been put there because it's finance related. Okay, directly relate your experience to the skills required by outlining how you performed the skills at a high level. So in this Top Choice Holidays Limited, this person has demonstrated excellent teamwork skills by in a busy financial environment, such as an ability to listen to clients and managers, etc. Then in 2007, make sure your dates are easy to see, very important, that's very important. Highlight the headings, maybe you want to underline it, okay. Neatly align your headings, aligning is very important. Formatting is very important. So formatting and language are absolutely important for the face validity. Otherwise there is a negative impression before you read it. Use short positive statements, okay, developed a strong passion to work in client services. So I talked about the importance of that. Additional work experience, less detail is required for less relevant or older roles. That is very important. As you go lower down the line, you don't have to provide too much detail. Okay, just what you did is enough. Main things. As you become more experienced or you go higher up the ladder, meaning closer to the most recent, you have to highlight the skills, the experience more detailed. Then, like I told you, voluntary experience, teaching English in Spain, student volunteering, teaching English in Mexico, whatever. Additional skills, languages, IT. So they have put semi-fluent, fluency obtained, okay. IT, web design, experience in Sage Line, whatever, confident with all applicant, office applications, email and internet. I wouldn't really give any marks for that. It's a waste of a bullet point to say that you know how to send an email. That's like you know how to sign. Okay, if necessary, enjoy running and have successfully completed this and this and this. Okay, this person has used the 2 full pages. Referee details available upon request is also okay. If they have not asked for referees, say if you want I can give referees. If they have asked for referees, don't say this. Put referees. Okay? Right. Any questions on that? Okay. I'm going to move on to the next section, which was on prepositions. This is what again language related, more grammar related point, and this is based on what Mr. Hasita Patirana has been focusing on and talking to you about, and it is a little bit of prepositions and error correction based on prepositions. So it's language time. Okay, so these are the prepositions as you know. Why is it difficult to learn prepositions? I think I have talked to you about this. In some languages, prepositions come in the form of inflectional endings. Sinhala and Tamil are 2 such languages. Okay, in Sinhala and Tamil, we don't have prepositions, meaning prepositions. In front of the noun, we don't have a preposition. We don't say go to the table. We say mesayata or something ka. Okay, what's the mesa in Tamil? Mesa. Mesa. Mesai. To put on top of? Okay. So, mele is after mesai. You put on top of the table? Mesai ki mele. Okay. So, like in Sinhala, mesaya uda. The problem we have is that in English, it is before. And we are not used to a system where space or direction is put before the noun. So we make all sorts of mistakes. Now in and on and under are the easy ones, but when you go to more complex language, it is difficult for us to figure it out because we don't have an equal or an equivalent in our languages. That's the problem. So prepositions are words that precede nouns, hence the name preposition. Okay, so but not all the time. Note the difference between I ran after the cat and where to. Now I ran after the cat. That means I am running. The cat is the noun. Okay, the cat is the object. I am running behind the cat or after the cat. So the preposition is in front of it, after the cat or behind the cat. And where to. In where to, the function is to show a relationship. Where am I going to? It's not pre, it is post. The to comes after. Okay? And it marks possession to. Okay, so where am I going to? I ran after the cat, and where to go would be the to is also showing a possessive relationship with the noun that follows. Preposition is a word which is used before a noun phrase or a pronoun connecting it to another word. So that is very simple. This is on the table. The phone is on the table. The on shows the relationship between the phone and the table. Okay, that's the function of a preposition. Kinds of prepositions. You have simple prepositions, prepositions which consist only of one word, in, on, at, etc. Compound prepositions, prepositions which consist of two or more words. Give me examples of compound prepositions. No, under is the preposition, there is the article. Any other? I am seated, blank, you. Put a preposition there. Right now, looking at this relationship. In front of, multiple. In front of, one preposition, three words. Okay? Next to, things like that. Instead of, in the middle of, by the side of, in front of. Okay? So, we also have compound prepositions co-current with verbs and adjectives. So, you have prepositions which go with certain prepositions which go with certain adjectives. So, now these are the things that when you were in school there were lists and people got you to learn to rely on. You can't say I am relying in the LMS, I am relying on the LMS. These always, that verb to rely takes only on. You can't say I rely behind. Okay? To detract from, to detract means to take away, to detract from, it's never any other. To consist of, okay? You can't say this course consists 2 modules, it consists of. To substitute for, so I don't know, Tilakaratna Dilshan is substituting for Mahila Jayawardena, okay? To part with, same thing. Or you can have adjective plus preposition. To be dependent on, dependent is an adjective, rely is a verb, but you take a preposition after it. On, to be free from or to be free of. I am waiting till I am free from debt. I am happy to be free of the burden of teaching. To be afraid of, always of. To be sorry for, to feel sorry for, to be content with, etc. Then you have out as a preposition coming with a verb, and there is no gap in the middle or a hyphen even. Outdo, outrun, outlast, outgrow. Okay? Outcome is not an out preposition and a verb. Outcome is a noun, it's one word. Okay? The outcome of this project is that we will all know how to do this. Outcome is not out plus come, it's outcome. Over plus verb, overdo, overrate, overeat, overcome, overuse. Okay, no space. But the out and the over and the under and the down are prepositions which have been stuck to verbs and adjectives. Under can be put to estimate, underrate, underscore, underwrite. Down, downplay, downgrade, downshift, downsize. Down plus verb I think is a fairly is more recent than the others. You are now suddenly it has become very common to use verbs which have down in front of the verb. When you are reducing the staff of a company, what do you say? Out of the words here? Yeah, if you're overstaffed, let's say our company has 500 staff members, but we have had losses, we are struggling to pay our bills and our salaries, so we have to reduce it to 300. Okay? Instead of saying reduce the staff, look at these 4 words and tell me which one you will use. Downsize, exactly. Companies very commonly talk about downsizing. Then to downshift is to come down, to downgrade. Okay. So let's say in terms of our quality framework, company X used to be in bracket A. But after the change in management and a lot of financial mismanagement, now we have decided to downgrade that company. It doesn't fall in A bracket anymore, it falls in B. It has been downgraded or downshifted. Okay? To downplay is different. Let's put it in a sentence. Let's say that our company has shown a lot of profit and all that, but we have also had a lot of internal problems which have affected the relationships. But in our annual report, we are not going to emphasize on those things. We are going to downplay. Instead, we are going to upgrade or promote how much profit we made. Okay? How much, like media talked about all the bad things, but we are going to downplay. Not overemphasize. All right. So prepositions don't mean the same thing all the time. If you take the preposition in, on one level it can be a preposition that indicates a spatial relationship. Someone is in the room. He is not out of the room. Okay, someone is in, meaning within an enclosed space, inside. It shows a spatial relationship. But the room is in a mess, is a more metaphorical, it's a mess, it's in a mess. That doesn't mean the room is in a mess. Okay, Seth is in trouble, doesn't mean the same thing as space. In running out of the house, he knocked a vase. He'll be back in an hour. You can see 5 users of in, but different users of in. In trouble, in running out of the house, in an hour, in the room, etc. Okay. Kinds of prepositions. There are prepositions, there are a few types in prepositions. Some of them are words that denote spatial proximity, that tell the time, that tell a location. Now, I gave you in as a preposition that denotes space. Think about another preposition that shows space. Down, under. That is a spatial relationship. In relation to the table, the phone is on. In relation to the table, the phone is under. Okay, spatial prepositions. Then prepositions that tell the time, it will happen at 1 o'clock, it will happen in an hour, it will happen under 2 hours. Okay, the exam will take under 2 hours. Tell a location, at, okay, it is being held in Sri Lanka, at Colombo, in the Faculty of Humanities, at the faculty boardroom. Okay, spatial preposition at can be a point as a place, at the station, at 6 o'clock, at work, good at guessing, At full speed, at these words he left. Laugh at, irritated at, etc. To show any of these things, to show cause, to show circumstance, manner, you can use at. Different uses of prepositions. Right. Can you read please there?
Different usages of prepositions, starting from
Spatial.
spatial proximity, the house, near, or by the day. Time or degree approximation, happen around or about 10 o'clock. Close around or about 100 hours. Telling a time, a quarter to or a quarter to or of 10. Within bracket, of course, telling time is not used in preposition. Telling time, a quarter after or past tense. Location along something linear, the towns on along the lake. In a time period, it happened in or during 1998. Temporal termination, welcome night, or till or goodbye. Location lower than something, below or beneath or underneath. That's yeah. Location higher than something, above or over the table. Location in or at the rear of something, behind or in front of the door. Location adjacent, next to or beside the street.
Okay. So these are the different uses of prepositions. Okay. So some other words that you use have equivalents. So when you say, for example, a house near the lake, you can also say a house by the lake. When you are talking about time approximation, means around, it happened around this time, it happened about this time can also be said. In terms of cost also, you can talk about, yeah, the books will probably cost you around 2000 rupees. It will cost you about 2000 rupees. Then telling time, a quarter to 10 or a quarter of 10. We will say it is a quarter to 10. We don't say a quarter of 10. That's more American. Then a quarter after or a quarter past. We will say a quarter past. Location along something linear, the towns on, the towns along. We will say if you come along Candy Road or if you come on Candy Road. Okay. So you need to note that any of these options are possible. So you can also do some prepositions. We need to remember that they can also be deleted or removed, and it won't make much of a difference. Douglas, can you read please?
Deletion of preposition. Some deletions are optional and some mandated. Example, we have lived in this house 12 years. How long have you lived in this house? There is difference between this and American English too.
Though. So if you say we have lived in this house 12 years, what is the preposition that is optional and therefore it has been removed? Yeah, Douglas? What would you say? This sentence is not wrong, but an optional preposition has been removed. We have lived in this house. It's there. We have lived in this house blank 12 years. What is the preposition you put? For a space of time. No. About 12 years. Okay. We have lived in this house about 12 years, that is a verb, a preposition of approximation. But yeah, we have lived in this house. That means you're showing that you're not sure. If you are sure, no, that is, it changes the meaning. If since means you need a year, since 2010. Huh? Online? Where? I can't see. Oh. Ah, okay. Thank you. How could you see? That's okay. We have lived in this house not in order to E Vithanage. We have lived in this house for is what we are looking for. Okay. Over, hold on. Over 12 years is like around 12 years. That means you're giving an additional bit of information. 12 years but more than 12, that's different. 12 years but around 12, that is different. But if you say we have lived in this house and you're very sure, then you can say we have lived in this house 12 years, or you can say we have lived in this house for 12 years. Putting for doesn't change the meaning, which is why I am saying that for is optional. If you remove it, no problem. Okay? But some places for is necessary. I want you to come into my office for 10 minutes. Means the duration. I want you to come for a period of 10 minutes. It's different from I want you to come to my office in 10 minutes. What is the difference there? Yes, within 10 minutes. Now it's 5 o'clock. I want you to come at 5:10. But I want you to come for 10 minutes means any time, but it will take me 10 minutes. Okay? Now, we have lived in this house 12 years. We have lived in this house for 12 years. How long have you lived in this house is fine. How long have you lived in this house for is also fine. There is a difference though, because to remove for is more to me American English. But some are mandatory deletions. Can you read that please? I forgot. Yeah. Actually, let's not bother with the reading. It's a little too technical. I will explain it. So, when the temporal noun is noun phrase contains a determiner used diacritically as seen from the perspective of the speaker, such as last, next, this. I was busy. You can't say on last Friday. When you put on, you have to remove. When you put last, you have to remove on. I was busy. You can say I was busy on Friday. Okay. I am going on Monday. That's fine. But when you are using a determiner used diacritically, don't worry about it, but a word, an adverb to indicate another piece of information, like I am going next Monday. Quite often students say I am going on next Monday. When you put next, on goes out. Okay? Miss, can I come and meet you? Students very often say, Miss, can I come and meet you on next Wednesday? Wrong. I will come and meet you next Wednesday or on Wednesday. Next Wednesday is more specific because then it can't be any Wednesday. It's next Wednesday. When you put next, though, on goes out. Okay? I was busy on last Friday. No, last Friday, same rule. When the temporal noun phrase contains a universal quantifier like every or all, we stayed in Provo or we stayed in Kandy. You don't say for all week. We stayed in Kandy for a week, but all week means you remove the for. When a locative noun such as home or downtown or the pro adverbs here and there are used with a verb of motion or direction, you don't say I went to home, I went home. Now these things ideally they shouldn't be learnt with the grammar rule. They should be learnt in usage. They should be learnt because you have read them or heard them. Okay, it's very difficult to memorize these rules, but you have to know that you don't say I went to home. I went to school, but I went to university, but I don't went to home or I don't go to home. Okay. Phyllis walks to here every day. No. Phyllis walks to university, but you walk here, not to here. Like now, confusions, where do you live, from specific to general. So, when you live in a specific place, it is at. I live at 252 Linden Street. Then when it goes to the without the number the street, it is on. Then I live on Linden Street, I live in Belmore, I live in Nassau County, I live in New York State, in the United States. Okay. If we are to talk about Sri Lanka, Daya, can you start from the bottom and give me examples? Daya, can you start I live in, give the country, and then can you do that for me? I live in Sri Lanka, then let's say province. In the eastern province, very good. Next, district. In Batticaloa district or in the Batticaloa district, optional. Eastern province, the is necessary. Next. Town. Batticaloa. Okay. Not am live. I. Okay. Not am. Very good. At, number, on, street, in, town, in, district, in, province, in, country. That's the point. Okay. And you, for what we call present truths, you use simple present tense. I live, not I am live. I am live doesn't exist grammatically there. You have to say I live or I am living. Okay. But for things like this, oh dear, I forgot. You say I live in. Okay. Dates. Douglas, can you read please?
Our daughter was born at 6:30. Our daughter was born on Friday. Our daughter was born on October 27, 1972. Our daughter was born in the morning. Our daughter was born in October. Our daughter was born in 1922. Our daughter was born in 17th century.
In the 70s, not the 17th century, that means 1600s. Okay. So, Douglas, can you start from the bottom and replace our daughter with I and tell me, I was born and give me your dates and days.
I was born in 1972.
No, you, real information, na? You were born in 72? 1972. Okay, then I was born in the.
I was born in the after.
No, hold on. Down the bottom. I was
born in
the and the century, the decade, 70s, 80s, 90s. Now go up.
I was born in 1972.
Mm.
I was born in December.
Mm.
I was born in the afternoon.
Mm.
I was born in
On?
December,
Date is on.
December 29, 1972.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in. I
On?
was born on Wednesday.
You're sure? True?
So
Good.
I was born at 2:30 p.m.
Okay. Very nice. So now you have
Mother told
mother told. This is all true information. Very good. Right. And I've completely forgotten your name. Rajiban. Tell me, Rajiban, start from the bottom. True information required. I was born.
I was born in the 80s. I was born in 1983. I was born in April. I was born in afternoon. I was born April 26, 1983. I was born Tuesday.
On a Tuesday, okay?
Tuesday. I was born at 2:15 p.m.
Okay. So just to get you to practice the prepositions, yeah? Common problems in Sri Lanka, in using prepositions in Sri Lanka. Spot the errors. Can you all do this on your own or together? The puzzle consists with many pieces. He can be found at upstairs. Think about it for a minute and let me know. Okay. Can you read the first one or yeah, which one, Douglas? He can be found. Which one? Can you give me the number? Second one. He can be found in upstairs. No. No. Anyone? Any other? You don't have to go in order. Anything you think you might know? Hmm. I am going home. Very good. I am going home, not to. Rajiban? He can be found upstairs. Very good. Number 2 done. No at, in, on, nothing. He can be found upstairs. 2 and 5 done. Rajiban, one more. Number? Hmm. 1 minute. Yeah. Rajiban? Very good. I cannot cope with this workload. I am telling you, this is one of the most common errors that we make in Sri Lanka with regard to prepositions. We say cope up with, but it is cope with. I cannot cope with this workload. Workload should be one word, my mistake. I cannot cope with this workload, not cope up with. Okay, I cannot cope with. Yeah, sorry, Douglas, next one. The puzzle consists many pieces. No, you need a different preposition there. The puzzle consists, very good, of many pieces. This course consists of 6 modules. Okay, each module consists of 15 lectures. Each lecture consists of 2 assignments, whatever. Right, 1 done, 2 done, 3. He did not participate the classroom discussion, another common one. No problem? You need a small preposition there, Douglas. No, people say for, but that's not correct. He did not participate in the classroom or in the discussion or in the classroom discussion, anything. In is what is needed. He did not participate in the discussion. I cannot cope with this workload. I am going home. Right. The last one is slightly more complicated. Rajiban, want to have a guess? The lessons consist of. The lessons consist of myriad of mistakes. Myriad means a lot, several, many. But you don't say myriad of mistakes. The lessons consist of a myriad mistakes, a myriad. Okay, that's uncommon though. Don't worry too much about it. The lessons consist of several mistakes or many mistakes. If you put, you don't even need a preposition. Okay? Okay, any questions about prepositions? Sorry. Anything you wish to ask? Right. I believe we have one exercise again on error correction. Since you asked Douglas about the format and the letter and questions about the letter, I mean the exam, one of the things that I will show you and which we have been doing for the exam is error correction, usually focusing on things that we have taught with regard to grammar. Right, these are very much from these examples of usage of preposition or wrong usage of preposition are directly from your own assignments which we are now marking. So, can each of you take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, Rajiban 1, 2, 3, the first 3, then Daya the second 2, and Douglas the last 2. Can you spot the preposition error, please? I write in this letter to respond to your letter dated. No. Anyone, any order? If you have an answer, tell me. I write. No. The changing to this won't change anything because the and this are not prepositions. There. You're correct so far. No, not with this letter. You write with a pen, but you don't write with this letter. You can't write with a letter. I write this letter is fine. Okay, there is my clue. I write this letter. Now continue and put a preposition. No. To respond is also fine. There. I write this letter to respond. There you go. You need a to here. Okay, to your letter dated. Okay, next one, with reference to your letter dated whatever on above matter. Where? Yes, you can't say with reference your letter, you can't say, you need to. With reference to your letter dated whatever 2010 on the above. The problem with that is that the is not a preposition, it's an article, and then the. So that's my mistake. Huh? Next one. Again, look for an article, put the somewhere. Very good, as the CEO, no? Next, we thank. This is not a preposition, but I don't think, hold on. This is error correction, not only prepositions. Huh? We thank. You can't say we thank. You can't say I thank. I thank for the gift you gave me. I thank you. We thank you. And received your letter. Dated. No, never on. We received your letter dated 8th February. Never on. The letter was written on, we received it on, but dated doesn't take on. Okay, dated 8th February. With high attention and consideration to your suggestion made in connection of the advertising slogan. There are problems with the word choice. In connection with, very good. It's always in connection with, okay? Next one. We appreciate your, you or your, sorry, I didn't hear you. We appreciate very much for your understanding. Await your, await? No, not await for. You never await for. You wait for. I am waiting for my marks. I am awaiting my marks. Okay, when you put a, you remove for. I am waiting for a child. I am awaiting a child. Understand? So, it's not there. We appreciate, somewhere there, this phrase, your, no, we appreciate very much is okay if you want to keep it, but we appreciate your understanding, no for. We don't appreciate for. If you say for, it changes the meaning. You have to say we appreciate you or your understanding or your patience. Okay? We appreciate you, then you say for doing what? We appreciate you for helping us with the assignment. We appreciate you for giving us good marks. Okay, but you don't appreciate for someone. Okay, number 6. Okay, we do not, I am going to add a do. We do not do much marketing campaigns. No, nothing. We do not do much marketing campaigns each year. Okay, you don't say if, even in other contexts there, you don't say in each year my wife goes to India. Each year my wife goes to India. Okay, in each year, in each week we have an assignment. No, each week we have an assignment. Every Saturday I go to the temple. You don't say in every Saturday I go to the temple. Remember that rule? Right, last one. Find a better verb for. Kind? No, you need a verb. Kind is an adjective. What do you do with feedback? Rajiban, fallen asleep? I appreciate you for, usually what do you do? What's the verb for feedback? You, something, feedback. Now at the end of the course, you will blank feedback about my teaching. You will? You can give feedback or you can submit feedback, or here if it is a letter you can send, you can send your for, you can't say forgive, you have to say forgiving. Forgiving feedback or submitting feedback or sending your feedback. Okay? On our recent advertisement, first to Bhuta, then to school, in, put a small word there, in the, no, in a friendly manner. Okay? Alright, so this is an example of the kind of error correction you will be required to do, but I will definitely give you more details on all of this in the model paper that I will be discussing next week. Okay? If there are any questions regarding the question paper or the format, next week we will talk about them. If there are problems after that, you can email me or anything like that. Right. just to remind you again, before we finish, I will open the Dropbox for the assignment tonight or early tomorrow morning. After that, from that time, I will give you a week for you to finish your assignment and submit it through the Dropbox. Okay? Any questions, anyone? Online participants, Skype for Business. Okay. Any questions, anyone, before we conclude? Okay, can do. There is a good idea. If I can please upload the model paper earlier for us to take printouts and get ready. My model paper is in my department and tomorrow is a holiday. Tuesday I will put the model paper up. Otherwise, write to me on the LMS and remind me, but I will put the model paper up earlier, which is a very good idea. Anything else? So next week we will do the model paper. I want to do a little bit about cross-cultural communication, business etiquette, etc. And then you will give the feedback. You will send, submit, give feedback about my teaching and Hasita's. All right. No more questions. Thank you very much. Good evening and see you next week.